Your past doesn't define you. How you face it does. Picture this. You've worked hard to leave behind the mistakes, the regrets, the chapters of your life that you wish you could forget. You've found peace, you've healed, and you're ready to move forward. But then, out of nowhere, someone reaches back into that past. They pull out a memory you thought you buried deep, and they use it against you, like a weapon designed to hurt. It's a betrayal, isn't it? That feeling when someone reminds you of who you were, not who you've become. Here's the thing. That's exactly what they want. They want your reaction. They want control. But what if I told you there's another way? A way to turn their attack into your strength. A way to disarm them with the most powerful tool you have, your response. Today, I'm going to share with you how to face the people who try to use your past against you with unshakable calm, strength, and wisdom. Because here's the truth. The Stoics believed that it's not what happens to us, but how we respond that defines our character. And when someone tries to drag you back into old wounds, it's your response that will shape your future. If you're ready to take control of your story, to respond with wisdom and peace, join this community of growth, where every step forward is a step toward mastering your mind and transforming your future. When someone dredges up your past, the first instinct is often to deny it, to push it away. We all do it at some point, try to bury the mistakes and the regrets so deep that they're hard to find. The thing is, rejecting your past doesn't make it go away. It only gives others the power to bring it back whenever they want, and that's where the real problem lies. By denying it, you give them control. But here's something most people never realize. The most powerful response you can give is simply saying, "Yes, that happened." There's power in acceptance. No excuses, no shame, no guilt, just the truth of what happened. And when you stand there, calmly accepting your past, you disarm the person trying to use it against you. You take the sting out of their words. Why? Because when you own your story, you're the one in control. It's not about celebrating your mistakes or pretending they didn't happen. It's about acknowledging that you've learned from them and they no longer define you. The Stoics believed that the path to freedom lies not in fighting the past, but in accepting it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the things we want to forget, the things that hold us back, are often the very things that push us forward once we stop resisting them. When you can look back at your past with honesty and not let it control you, you start to understand that the very thing you once wanted to hide from is now your source of strength. It's not about erasing the past, it's about making peace with it. We all have a tendency to hide parts of ourselves, those mistakes we wish we could erase. It's almost instinctual. The ego wants to protect us from feeling vulnerable, from being judged. But here's the thing, the more you deny your past, the more you hand over your power. You're allowing others to rewrite your story for you. But when you stop fighting, when you accept that your past is a part of you, you take back control of your narrative. You stop letting others hold the pen to your life. Think about it this way. When you're willing to say, "Yes, that happened," you stop running from it. You stop letting it define your every move. Instead, you let it teach you. You let it become the very thing that shapes the person you are today. The Stoics didn't shy away from their flaws or failures. They faced them head-on and used them as fuel for growth. When someone points out your past mistakes or your failures, they're looking for a reaction. They want you to feel small, to shrink back, to defend yourself. But when you own your past, when you don't need to defend it, you take away their power. The simple acknowledgement of your history takes the sting out of their words. You're not denying it, you're just no longer afraid of it. So, Next time someone tries to use your past against you, remember, acceptance is your strength. When you stop rejecting your story, you free yourself from the weight of it. You transform something once painful into a testament of your growth. This doesn't mean you have to feel proud of every moment or mistake, but it does mean you stand firm in the truth of who you are, knowing that your past doesn't define you. Your response to it does. It's easy to hide, to pretend things didn't happen. But when you face your past without shame, when you say, "Yes, that happened," you begin the process of freedom. You take back control and you become the author of your own story. What once held you back now propels you forward, and in the eyes of others, your acceptance becomes your strength. They can no longer use your past against you because you've already made peace with it. You've already moved on. The journey of personal growth doesn't begin when you start fixing your mistakes. It begins when you stop running from them. Embrace your past, own it, learn from it, and watch as it no longer holds power over you. There comes a point in life when the past isn't something we should be running from anymore. We've already acknowledged it, right? We've accepted that the mistakes, the failures, the things we regret are a part of us. But the real shift happens when we stop seeing them as burdens and start seeing them as stepping stones. When someone brings up your past and you're tempted to apologize, to defend yourself, what if the best response wasn't, "That was a mistake"? What if the best response was, "I've learned from it"? This simple shift in language can change everything. Instead of allowing your past to define you by your failures, you start defining it by the lessons it taught you. "I've learned from it" doesn't mean that you're proud of every moment. It means you found the growth in the hardship, the strength in the struggle. It means that the things that once held you back are now the things that push you forward. Imagine Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison, more than a quarter of a century. His past was filled with unimaginable pain, loss, and hardship. But when he was freed, he didn't carry that past as a weight on his shoulders. He didn't wear it like a burden. Instead, he turned that pain into purpose. He used it as a catalyst for change, both for himself and for an entire nation. His scars weren't weaknesses. They were proof of his resilience, proof that even the darkest periods of life can create the light of transformation. And this is where the power lies. The moment you stop letting your past be the thing that holds you back is the moment you reclaim your life. Every mistake, every failure, every painful memory, instead of dragging you down, can lift you up. Because the truth is, we're not defined by the things we've done or the things that have happened to us. We are defined by how we rise from those things, by how we learn and grow in response. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And that's exactly the shift we're talking about here. When you stop seeing your past as a chain that's keeping you bound to who you were, and instead see it as a lesson that's shaping who you're becoming, everything changes. You stop apologizing for who you were and start appreciating who you've become. The difference between someone who's stuck in the past and someone who's moving forward isn't in the mistakes they've made. It's in the mindset they carry with them. We all stumble, we all fall, we all have things we wish we could change. But the Stoics taught us that it's not about erasing those mistakes, it's about transforming them into lessons. It's about taking responsibility for what happened, but not letting it have the power to define us. Instead of carrying around guilt and shame, we carry forward the wisdom we've gained from those experiences. Think about your own life. How many times have you looked back at a mistake, a failure, or a difficult situation, only to see it through new eyes? When you stop resisting your past, when you stop running from it, you start to realize that it's not a burden, it's a blueprint. Every hardship, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Your scars are not evidence of your weaknesses. They are a testament to your strength, to your ability to overcome, to your willingness to learn and grow. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy. It teaches us that we don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond. Life will throw challenges our way. People will judge us based on our past. But at the end of the day, we are the ones who decide how much power we give to those things. When someone brings up your past, don't shrink away in shame. Stand tall and say, "I've learned from it." This isn't about pretending that everything was okay or that we're proud of every moment. It's about accepting the fullness of our experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, and finding the wisdom in them. The truth is, the past doesn't have to be a cage. It can be a bridge to a stronger, wiser version of yourself. In those moments when your past is brought up to tear you down, remember this: your past doesn't have to be your prison. It can be your power. Every crack, every failure, every painful chapter is a place where the light can come through. It's proof that you've survived, that you've learned, and that you're stronger because of it. So, the next time someone tries to remind you of who you were, answer them with this: "I've learned from it." Don't let them use your past as a weapon. Let it be your armor. Let it be the thing that proves how far you've come and how much further you're willing to go. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are who you choose to become in the face of them. And when you own that power, no one can take it from you. When someone tries to drag you back into your past, the impulse is often to get defensive, to explain, or to fight back. But what if the most powerful thing you could do wasn't to react at all? What if instead you simply asked them, "Why are you bringing this up now?" It's a simple question, but it shifts the entire dynamic. By asking this, you're not engaging in their emotional game. You're stepping outside of it, creating space to observe their motives instead of just reacting to their words. It's amazing how much power lies in the act of pausing and asking a question. When someone brings up your past, it's easy to feel like they're putting you on trial, like they're forcing you to defend who you were. But when you ask, "Why are you bringing this up now?" you stop being the target. Suddenly, the focus is on them, not you. You've taken the conversation away from your past and turned it into a reflection on their intentions. Why now? Why at this moment? What is the real reason behind this attack? Think about how much power lies in shifting the conversation this way. The Stoic approach here is about maintaining emotional control, observing the situation from a distance, and not letting yourself be pulled into an emotional spiral. Epictetus once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." When you respond with a question instead of a defense, you've already begun to take control of the situation. You've chosen your response, and in doing so, you've stopped letting them dictate your emotions. The beauty of this question is that it forces the person to confront their own motives. If their intentions are genuine, your question might make them pause, reconsider, and reflect on why they're bringing up something from your past. It makes them question whether their words are necessary or even kind. In a way, you're holding up a mirror to them, making them look at their actions through a new lens. It's a powerful way of creating space between their words and your emotions. You're no longer just reacting to their attack. You've turned the tables, and now they have to deal with their own motivations. But what if their intentions aren't sincere? What if they're trying to hurt you, to use your past as a weapon? The beauty of this question is that it forces them to confront themselves. When you ask, "Why are you bringing this up now?" you've created an opportunity for them to crumble under the weight of their own exposure. They'll either have to come up with a justification for why they're attacking you, or they'll realize that there's no real reason for it. Either way, the power shifts from them to you. This question doesn't just stop the conversation in its tracks. It forces a deeper reflection. It's like holding up a mirror, but instead of just reflecting the past, you're reflecting the present. You're asking them to consider what's really driving their actions. It's no longer about you defending yourself. It's about them defending why they feel the need to bring up your past at all. And if their goal is simply to hurt you, they'll likely stumble. The question itself is a shield, a tool to disarm their attack without even having to engage emotionally. In those moments when the past is used against you, don't fall into the trap of emotional reactivity. Instead, pause, breathe, and ask, why are you bringing this up now? It doesn't matter if the answer is what you expected. What matters is that you've reclaimed control of the conversation. You've shifted from being the one on the defensive to being the one with the power to observe and question. And in that moment, you've already taken back control of your emotional state, your narrative, and your life. This simple question can be one of the most powerful tools in your emotional toolbox. It shifts the conversation away from past mistakes and turns it back toward the present moment. It makes the other person accountable for their intentions. You've removed yourself from being the target and put the focus back on them, where it belongs. If they want to keep dragging your past into the present, it's their choice. But now you're the one deciding how much power they'll have over you. The next time someone tries to use your past against you, try this. Don't get defensive. Don't try to explain. Instead, ask, why are you bringing this up now? You may be surprised by the shift that occurs, not just in the conversation, but in yourself. By asking this question, you not only regain control of the situation, but also take back the emotional space that's rightfully yours. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal. When someone tries to provoke you, the immediate instinct is often to react, whether it's through anger, defense, or even justification. We want to explain ourselves, to prove we're right, to make sure the other person understands us. But what if the best response in these moments wasn't a response at all? What if instead the power lies in staying silent? In a world where everyone is shouting, justifying, and explaining, silence stands out. It becomes an act of strength, not weakness. It's the quiet declaration that you are not moved by the words or actions of others. You're in control of yourself, your emotions, and your peace. When you refuse to engage in the emotional back and forth, you take the power back. You are no longer a puppet to someone else's provocations. Seneca once said, "The one who angers you conquers you." These words hold a profound truth. Every time we react in anger, we allow the other person to control our emotional state. By giving them that reaction, we lose our peace, and in turn, we lose our power. Think about it. When you let someone pull you into their emotional game, they win. You're playing on their terms, according to their rules. But when you remain silent, when you choose not to react, you refuse to let them dictate your emotional reality. This simple act of holding your peace is a powerful form of resistance. The power of silence isn't about ignoring the other person or pretending they don't exist. It's about understanding that you don't need to engage in every conflict that comes your way. The world is full of noise, and everyone seems to have something to say. But true power lies not in reacting to every criticism, not in defending every action, but in choosing your response. Silence sends a clear message that says, "I don't need to react to you to define myself." It's a statement of self-control and inner strength. Silence can also be incredibly disarming. When someone is trying to provoke you, they expect a reaction. They expect you to feel hurt, to feel defensive, to feel the need to explain yourself. But when you don't give them that satisfaction, they are left with nothing. They've used their words, their tactics, and their emotional manipulations, but you remain unaffected. In that moment, their power over you fades away. You see, silence isn't passive. It's not the absence of a response. It's the presence of self-control. You're not ignoring the situation. You're choosing to rise above it. The Stoics taught us that our reactions to external events are the only things we truly have control over. Life is full of challenges, disagreements, and moments where others will try to pull us into emotional chaos. But we are the ones who decide how we respond. By choosing silence, we maintain control over ourselves and our peace. In these moments, silence is not an act of avoidance, but one of strength. You are not avoiding conflict. You are showing that you are above the need to prove yourself. You don't need validation from others. Your silence speaks volumes about your confidence and your emotional maturity. It's like a shield, protecting your peace and allowing you to remain unaffected by external chaos. Think about how much energy we waste when we engage in pointless arguments, when we defend ourselves against accusations or criticisms that don't define us. By remaining silent, you save that energy for more important things. You preserve your emotional resources rather than draining them on an argument that likely won't change anything. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to say a word to make your point. Your actions, your calm, composed response, speak louder than any words ever could. In moments of conflict, silence allows you to listen, not just to the other person, but to yourself. It gives you the space to think, to reflect, and to understand the situation without getting swept away in the emotional current. Sometimes the best thing you can do is step back, breathe, and simply observe. It's in these quiet moments that clarity often emerges. You start to see the situation for what it truly is, not what your emotions are telling you it is. Remaining silent doesn't mean you're passive or that you've given up. In fact, it's often the most powerful action you can take. When you refuse to be dragged into a confrontation, you hold on to your peace and show the world that you are not a slave to your emotions or the words of others. By choosing silence in the face of provocation, you create space for personal growth and emotional resilience. It is in these moments that you show yourself and the world that you are in control of your reactions, your mind, and your peace. When the noise of the world tries to pull you in, let your silence be the loudest statement of all. At the end of the day, it's not about being right, it's about having peace. So often, we get caught up in defending ourselves, in trying to prove that we've changed, that we're different now. But here's a simple truth. Your peace is far more valuable than being right. Your growth is more important than trying to justify your past. The reality is, your past doesn't define you. How you face it, how you carry it with you, that's what truly shapes who you are. When someone tries to remind you of who you were, it can feel like a punch to the gut. Maybe they bring up an old mistake or a part of you that you've long since outgrown. It stings, doesn't it? The temptation is to react, to defend yourself, to prove that you're not the person they think you are. But what if instead you smiled? Not out of shame, not out of pride, but in peace. Because the truth is, you know you're not the person they're trying to paint. You've learned, you've grown, and you are free from the weight of who you used to be. This isn't about denying your past or pretending it didn't happen. It's about letting go of the emotional weight you've carried for so long. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to justify yourself, to fight for their approval, or to explain how much you've changed. The most freeing thing you can do is stop trying to convince people of your growth. Those who truly see you don't need an explanation. They understand the transformation without words. And for those who refuse to see it, no explanation will ever be enough. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet profound statement cuts through the noise. The Stoic wisdom here is clear. Stop wasting time defending yourself. Just live in a way that reflects your growth. The more you try to justify, the more you tie yourself to the past. The more you defend who you were, the more you risk being caught in the web of who you used to be. Instead, just be. Be the person you've become. Live in the peace that comes from being confident in who you are today, without needing to prove anything to anyone. The struggle to be understood, to make others see our worth, can be exhausting. We can spend years fighting to be seen in the light we think we deserve. But there's a deeper truth. Your worth doesn't depend on how others see you. It depends on how you see yourself. Your growth is yours to own, and no one can take that from you. When you stop seeking validation, when you stop trying to prove your worth to others, you reclaim your peace. You take your power back from the people who once held it in their judgment, in their opinions of who you were. There's a freedom in not needing to explain yourself. Think about it. Every time you feel the need to justify your past, you're letting someone else's opinion dictate your emotional state. You're handing them the keys to your inner peace. But when you let go of that need for approval, when you stop fighting to prove that you've changed, you take back control. You become the authority on your own life, and the only opinion that truly matters is your own. Your peace is yours to protect, and you don't have to give anyone the power to disturb it. We all have parts of our past we'd rather forget, parts of us that we feel embarrassed by, that we feel should stay hidden. But the Stoics remind us that it's not about erasing those parts of ourselves. It's about accepting them and moving forward. It's about choosing peace over perfection. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to embrace who you are now without being tied to who you were. When someone brings up your past, remember, it's not about you, it's about them. If they can't see your growth, it's because they're still stuck in the past themselves. But that's not your burden to carry. Your only responsibility is to keep moving forward, to continue growing, to keep building the person you are becoming. As Carl Jung wisely said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." This is the key. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by what you choose to do with it. So, let go of the need to prove anything. Let go of the need to explain yourself. Smile, not out of pride or shame, but in peace, because the truth is, you've already moved on. You've already grown. You've already done the work to leave the past behind, and now all you need to do is be the person you've become, without apology, without justification, and without the need for approval. In the end, peace is what matters most, not perfection, not proving you've changed, not winning every argument. Peace is the foundation on which everything else is built. When you stand firm in your peace, when you let go of the need to defend who you were, you become unstoppable. So, smile. You've already moved forward, and the only thing left is to keep moving. Remember, your peace is your true power. It's not about being perfect, not about defending who you were, but about embracing who you've become. So, choose peace over perfection, and let go of the need to prove yourself. And if you're ready for more, check out the video on the screen. It's the next step on your path to peace. Thank you for being part of Stoic Journal. Keep moving forward with strength and clarity.